Well, we're going to confirm what they are once we have collected the debris. But to answer your question, we've not recovered any debris from the 3 most recent shootouts.
Pentagon briefings are fine, but America needs to hear from the commander-in-chief. Why are they happening with such frequency? Where are they coming from? What's the purpose?
Well, those are all very good questions there, don't you think? That was Congressman Michael Waltz you heard from there second, talking about his lack of understanding as to why our esteemed leader has not come out and talked about this yet. Is he just not prepared? Is he still coming down off the Adderall from the State of the Union last week? I don't know. Not ready for prime time, clearly. Sean Themea joining me from Young Americans for Liberty. He's a chief of staff, a political strategist for them. And Sean, welcome back.
Hey, Mark, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So it's just odd to me that there's nothing that Americans are talking about more right now than things floating through the American sky, and yet Joe Biden has not seen fit to come out and address this to the American public.
Yeah, well, you alluded to this a minute ago, but the first question is, does Joe Biden even know what's going on? It's unfortunate we have to ask that. You could make the case that his whole presidency is elder abuse by Jill, but that's neither here nor there. But this is a government, and governments before it, the last 50 years or so, they demand transparency from us, and they demand that they spy on us, but they won't give us an ounce of transparency when these big questions come up. So we need to know what's in this UFO. I think it's more likely than not that it's probably China. But if it is the aliens, I'm glad they flew over Lake Huron instead of D.C. because they're not going to find any intelligent life in the latter.
Strikes me, I'm assuming I'm several years older than you. I've lived a long life. I've never, in my lifetime, I don't remember us shooting things down over the United States in terms of foreign objects. The fact that we've yet to discover the items that we shot down are just as that's just as frightening to me as the fact that we apparently didn't know they were there to begin with until about a week ago.
Yeah, well, you heard the reports, somewhat conflicting of, these were happening during the Trump administration, but nobody said anything. I don't know how legitimate that is, but to your point, it's either gross incompetence that they can't figure out what it is, or they're covering something up, or they're trying to find the right spin, and they're quickly, continuing to lose credibility with the American people. And that is one silver lining of the Biden administration. I think that it has been so incompetent and mistrustful that it's waking people up to just how much the government does not have our interests in mind and how they're only looking out for themselves. So if we can suffer through this another 2 years, at least I hope that we can wake more people up to that every day.
Yeah, Sean, it seems weird to say that we have to wait. We have to suffer through this for, a little less than 2 years, but still, that's frightening because at least from the White House press secretary's point of view, they don't seem to be taking this very seriously. Go to cut 1 for me, Carl, please.
I know there have been questions and concerns about this, but there is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Again, there is no indication of aliens or terrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Wanted to make sure that the American people knew that, all of you knew that.
Yeah, I said earlier that if indeed it did end up being aliens, it would be a complete reversal of this administration in its approach to illegal aliens, right?
Yeah, ain't that the truth? And, it's funny that the conspiracy theorists of yesterday were saying that, the government is hiding information about UFOs and aliens and Area 51. The conspiracy theorist of today says that the aliens thing is a distraction from what's really going on. So if this is, in fact, a wag the dog, I'd like to know what's really going on behind the scenes and what they really are covering up and what's to come. And I can't imagine it's good.
No, and, the question is, what's the new policy? It seems to me like that's the first question I'd ask Joe Biden. Are we now shooting down anything we see in the skies that we don't immediately recognize? So hopefully we get some answers this week. Sean Themea, listen, YALiberty.org is the website. I appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mark.
Absolutely.